So Caleb always had a lot of energy to burn, so I think that it was good for him to have that opportunity to kind of get out in nature, away from screens, burning some energy. And he wasn't like a super competitive person, so I think it was good because he could have personal goals when it came to mountain biking and try to meet those personal goals and not necessarily like having to be like the fastest person out on the track. So I was at home. I had just put dinner in the oven and was working in the kitchen when I got a phone call that he's like, "Mom, I think I broke my arm." And I was like, "What?" Like it just seemed so like odd, you know, he had just left to ride to the store.
Well, I'd love to tell you it was while I was on a mountain, but I was on a road. I was riding to the grocery store to get Christmas presents for my friends and family, and I thought the curb it was night, and so it was dark, and I thought that the curb was round, but it was a square curb. I popped my front tire over it, expecting my rear tire to just roll up behind me, and instead I wash out and smack my arm on the concrete. And then I kind of look at my wrist and I realize that it looks like a snake. It's cracked in half. Both the bones snapped in half.
And then when my lights hit him on the road and I could see like the bend of his arm, I was like, oh my gosh, like that's not I think I broke. That's like he for sure broke. And okay, now what do I do? And all right, let's get him to the doctor now.
When we pulled up, they checked me in and I didn't get seen immediately, so I'm sitting on a couch, like on a chair in the waiting room with a broken arm, using my mom's purse as a splint. Eventually they escorted me into a room. I lay on this bed and they put a mask over my face to knock me out. It felt like I was inside of a kaleidoscope and everything was multiplying.
And then the adrenaline for him had worn off and he was starting to feel the pain. And so watching my son in pain and not being able to do anything about it, just like it's hard when your kid is hurting and crying and you are powerless to do anything at that point.
I wasn't able to get motion in my fingers for a lot longer than I expected. It took days of me sitting and trying to I felt like when you feel like you're trying to use the force to pick up your TV remote and nothing's happening. That's how I felt staring at my hand, sitting there on the armrest of the couch, trying to move a finger, and eventually I was able to do this with my finger, and that was the only movement I could get.
I think he had to learn to adapt because he broke his dominant arm. And so learning to juggle things out of his comfort zone a little bit.
Just because I learned I was a fragile human doesn't mean I stopped wanting to take risks. It just meant I took them in a different angle. But I still think it's very important that we put ourselves out there, take risks, and push our limits, because that's what we were made as humans to do. We were made to be elite on the world.